What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna and Ron with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. And we're back with our resident vitality expert, Ron Beckenfeld, the president of, tell us.
Superior Source Continental Vitamin.
Excellent. Yes. Great supplement. So if you are interested in trying a new supplement brand, go try them out on Amazon, Walmart, and some of your participating superstores in your area that carry supplements. Ron and I have covered some very important subjects around health in the past episodes. The last one, we talked about how to stay healthy over the winter months. We've talked about creatine use. We've talked about longevity and keeping a healthy routine within your diet and your exercise that you do every day. I'm losing my train of thought. Anyways, Ron and I today, we're going to talk about, Ron, why don't you let the audience what we're going to talk about today?
Uh, let's talk about the our JFK. Am I got it right? That with him in the fighting I'd call it the factory foods, the additives,
Yeah.
which a lot of countries will not take our foods because of all
Right.
the additives.
Yeah.
That must tell you something, And he's going against some real powerhouse people.
So I've traveled overseas. Have you?
No.
So I've been to Europe. I've been to Japan. I've been to the Cayman Islands. Um, I've been to Canada. Mexico. I haven't gone anywhere else besides those countries. And the food is a lot cleaner there. And it's very interesting to me that here in America that we have I won't buy that crap that they all the different cereals with the food coloring and all the preservatives. Like I won't
Factory.
the factory foods. Okay, factory foods. I like that terminology. I won't buy all that stuff. I will not. Like the Little Debbies, the ho-hos. I very rarely will indulge in something like that, like Doritos. Very, very, very rarely. Like I
I
make
don't
my
even
own. You
I
don't
don't
even
even
like
like
it?
that. No.
You
If
know
you
what I
want
like?
to
Well, you need
chop,
to make this. Quest has the puffed protein chips that
hmm
are flavored like Doritos. Delicious. I love them. I ate a whole box of them.
Yeah, I mean, if again to the factory foods, I mean, I don't think it would cost too. The big cost would be for them to reformulate these companies because I'm in that business. Repackage, reformulate, but it's not a. They can write it off. It's not a
Yeah, for sure.
ball buster, and get the additives out of it. I don't think the cost would really go up if significantly, very little, if any at all.
Hmm.
Something that sells for maybe a buck could be $1, $2, $3, a couple percent. That's it. But to clean up the food, I mean, everybody's going to live about the same, and then the pharmaceutical guys step in, then the insurance companies step in, so it becomes a vicious circle.
But they are all, I personally think, and this is my conspiracy theorist coming out, that they're all in cahoots. So they know that these foods. I know someone that is close to the president of Splenda or that company that runs Splenda. He will not allow his kids or his family to eat that product because how bad it is for you, because of the chemicals in the factory food that you call it, that it falls under. He won't allow his family to eat it. So they know that it's bad for you. But because they can mass produce it for cheap, make a huge profit on it, package it and sell it, then they also, these lobbyists get together and like, oh, okay, well, you sell this and we can help, take care of this issue that comes, whatever disease they get from this. I really believe it's a vicious circle. You got lobbyists that are doing bidding these guys agenda, right? And making sure that it gets passed and they're
I don't
whatever.
think it started that way. I think it just ended up evolving
Of
where,
course.
I
Greed.
mean, they didn't sit around a table and said, okay, we're going to give you a junk. Now you're going to step in the doctors and give them a bunch of medicines. Then you
Right.
and insurance. I don't think it started that way, but it
No.
evolved to.
It definitely evolved. That's the only natural way of evolution, especially when there's greed involved. More money, more money. How can we get more money? So, when I traveled to Germany last year, I ate so much food, but I lost 5 pounds. I didn't have a lot of time to exercise because it was a wedding. It was big family affair. And so how is that possible where I eat so much food I go, the food looks immaculate when you go to like the gas station. The gas stations here in the United States, the hot dogs look disgusting. Everything looks gross. You go to a gas station there, it's immaculate. It looks like it came out of like a five-star restaurant. So
Oh,
perfect and beautiful and delicious. And you can taste the difference of the quality of the food.
well, I don't think they have the obesity that we have.
No.
I don't think so. I don't know, but I really don't think so. But the problem is a lot of the people the younger people especially, they'd rather have things. The food don't mean much. You just want enough to fill up. So they'll eat anything if it's cheap. So they can buy computers or shoes, whatever. That's how I look at it there. They're not really, and they'll live about the same, but the taxpayers down the line will pay for it.
So I was never allowed to have any of that food growing up. We very rarely had any fast food. My mom cooked all of our meals. We had fresh food, fresh fruit, fresh vegetables. Like once a month, we may have been able to have McDonald's. We
I never
never
saw McDonald's till I was 16 years old.
We weren't
So
allowed to drink pop, so I did not was not exposed to pop. Like my mom did not give us any of those things. I think that has become so easy for Americans to ingest this stuff
right.
that because it is fast. Like, okay, I'm hungry, let me just take this and not making
It's
it better
cheap. It's
and cheap.
relative.
Yes,
It
and
was
cheap too.
relatively cheap.
Exactly.
So they could buy things. That's why I say whatever else they buy, they could care less about that.
Yeah, but if you have no health, what is all those things that matter? You can't enjoy them.
When you're young, you don't think that way.
Well, now look what's happening. A majority of our like what's like what would you say 50% of our society has a medical problem or more?
What age group we talking about?
I'd say, okay, 20, 30 to 60.
I would say if you want to say 60 and above, I would say it'd be 80%.
Okay,
60
well,
above.
then let's go back to your statement that this is about JFK Jr. and what he wants to do in the next administration in 2025 and cleaning up the factory foods. So he obviously is very passionate about that because he knows there's a problem. Our children, the cancer for our children is on the rise. The obesity is on the rise for our children. All of these things are on the rise at a young age now because of
Oh
these
yeah.
factory foods. So I really believe that. And then you not only have the factory foods pushing all this easy, like disgusting chemical based foods at you, but then you've got the big pharma coming in that wants to, okay, well, we'll correct the problem. And then when this medicine gives you a problem, we got another medicine to give you to fix that problem. And that one doesn't fix it, then we got another one. So it's a vicious cycle. And so what
Right.
I love about what's happening in 2025 and then how we've got like this incredible team that wants to fix America and fix all these issues is that they're acknowledging that there is this sickness that's happening in our youth because of big farm, well, big pharma, yeah, and because of the factory foods.
I was talking to a doctor. He told me 50, 60 years ago, rare, if any doctor would ever see a kid, a young child would have diabetes. Now it's a whole different story. So there's your
That
answer
and
right.
allergies. Let's look allergies. Allergies wasn't a thing when I was a kid. There was no such thing as, oh, we got to have the kids that are allergic to peanuts over here. And they're saying that's a lot because of the vaccines. So I know we want to touch on that a little bit, but that kind of segues into that there's been so many vaccines that are given to our children at such a young age that they're developing ADHD. They're developing all these allergies because it's not natural for their system. Pardon?
Autoimmune is another one, boy.
That one too. So
Yeah.
when I was younger and it wasn't so many vaccines, probably like yourself. And now we're seeing that there's like I forget what some of these I'm watching these clips of these crazy
They
moms
got it for
talking about
everything. They
what?
got a vaccine for everything, pretty
Yeah,
much.
right. So I know my mom was not pro all those vaccines. So I got the bare minimum, right? And so like now because they have this long list of vaccines, now you're having this other problem. Not only that, but the mental health. I think that is also an issue. The
Mm.
ADHD, the neurodivergent, the mental health, like you got all these things that I think are a result of factory food, vaccines. and big pharma.
I agree 100%.
So
So
if you are like us, maybe I don't know if you want me to say it out loud, but like me, I'll say it against a lot of these things. What would be the best route forward from a health and vitality standpoint? So I won't take a vaccine. I did not take the vid vaccine.
give
I
you the choice
refuse.
of what you want to take. Don't shove it down your throat.
Correct. I believe in natural immunity. I believe that our bodies are so incredibly intelligent and capable of healing themselves at a cellular level if we do the right things.
One thing you forgot, as you let's say the next generations of you, if you have children, they pick up all these stuff would be in your genetic pool probably.
Absolutely. That's why I would love to procreate because I know that I'm awesome.
You know,
I want to pass on all this greatness.
I don't think the world's ready for you, hon.
Oh, well, they've been soaking it up for the last couple of years, so just keep getting ready for more. So that's all I have to say.
In the meanwhile, I mean, all you can do is do your best. I mean, like I said, it's take care of yourself. Just stay away from the packaged foods and the sugar. And if you are, learn how to read the darn labels at least, the serving size and
Oh my
always
God.
look at,
The
if you look,
macros.
yeah, look at the other where it says other ingredients. Always, then you're gonna find the nasties in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, anything that's away from like grow being like I try to stay away from like frozen vegetables because I think that just takes all the nutrients out. So I like to
Well,
cook fresh.
it's better than nothing.
Yes, but
Yeah.
if you can, and you can, it's not that much more time consuming than the frozen. You still got to thaw it out and cook it a little bit longer. So I just made some green beans for, I think it was for Thanksgiving. I made fresh green beans. I blanched them, then I baked them. I put the sauce on them. I made everything myself. Then I went to my girlfriend's house and she's pulling out frozen green beans. I'm like, well, those are great, but I use fresh. And I don't know. I hope I didn't offend her, but I just don't think that I think the more vegetables that you have in your diet, the more fruits that you have, anything that is more like comes from this earth, that the better you are going to be from a health vitality standpoint moving forward.
I agree. The thing you start talking about affordability, we go back to the original thing. Things over this.
Yeah,
You know, all fresh is frozen is cheaper than fresh.
true. That's true. Yeah.
I mean, it becomes down to economics. And another thing you might, I don't know if we should touch on in the inner cities, a lot of that fresh food is not available when they go to
Okay.
basically little small stores or convenience stores. That's another.
Okay. The people in the inner cities are getting,
You're cut off. You're completely cut off. I can't hear you.
is that better?
Yeah, I couldn't hear a word you said.
I said, okay, Warren, just edit that and up to this point. Um, the people that are in the low income areas they have their food stamps, they have their SNAP cards. They have plenty of money to buy good food because they are utilizing the system. They choose not to because they like all that junk food. That's why there is a higher
I'd rather
percentage
have the
of
thing.
diabetes in that category in it
Absolutely.
than you do in other areas of society.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's no question about it. But I mean, it goes back to again, they'd rather have a something personal, some tennis shoes or whatever, and the food they just get filled up and they don't pay attention. Everybody's going to live about the same. Whether you're going to be viable and really vibrant is one thing or not. And that's what the pharmaceuticals do. And there's choices in life.
Mhm. Well,
There's just and you got to be educated about it. And these people, if they were surely on the ball, they wouldn't be in the position they're in. Because
true.
everybody gets the same chance in America. Everybody. You
That's
have you
very
have the
true.
chance. You do have the chance. Hey, I have no education. I'm a second generation Hungarian. I started my business out on the trunk of my car, and I've done pretty darn good.
I think very good. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, if a schmuck like me can make it, anybody can make it.
True. You just have to have that desire and just to
Yeah,
continue
it's
to
just
work hard.
the system's there to work. All you got to is get out and do it. There's no excuses. I don't
So
think there's any
do
excuses.
you think there's any circumstances where someone should get like a flu shot?
I don't believe in it personally. I've never had one, but it should be a choice available to you. But when the information should be information that's truthful given to you so you can make a proper choice. And that's where you can have a problem because you got the power of advertising, the power of these companies, and that's just the way it goes. So I mean, you got to, buyer beware or due diligence, one or another.
Have you ever had the flu?
If I ever had a flu shot,
No, have you ever had the flu?
oh, absolutely, I've written them out. Sure,
Yeah. And
absolutely.
I think I'm sure you're very knowledgeable on like how a virus like that of the flu evolves, correct?
Not really.
No. Oh, okay. Well, I think we started talked about it a little bit. So a virus evolves like when it first comes out. So there's many different strains of the flu. The flu that was 20 years ago is not the strain that we have today.
And I understand it.
And so when someone gets a flu shot, it's like usually four different flu strains that they had previously, right? And so as like every season evolves and the flu comes out and people
And
pass
I
it
understand
around.
all that.
So for me, I got the flu shot over 10 years ago when my late husband was sick. He needed a new kidney. He was on dialysis. He had open heart surgery. So they recommended me to get just an extra precaution for him, as well as the pneumonia shot. But if you know anything about biology and a little bit of science, you understand that a virus evolves and the same strain is not available season after season. So taking the flu shot essentially is only injecting the last year's flu into you to kind of like be a little bit of a defense of your in your immune system for the new flu strain, which
And
to
I know.
me, which to me is stupid. Like you're better off fighting it off naturally and building up your immune system from a natural standpoint than lowering it, but with a synthetic flu virus or strain to fight it off. It makes zero sense to me. Just
The
like
problem,
the vid
the
shot.
problem is when you get older, that's 40s or 50s, you've already accumulated a lot of, let's call it diseases or problems. So uh, I don't know if you could fight it off.
As you get older.
Yeah, especially when you're the obesity and yada yada yada, all that other
Well, no,
stuff.
no, we're not talking about people that are
You're just
compromised
talking
because
the
they don't
average
take
Joe
care of
Blow.
themselves. You've never
Well,
you've never had a flu shot
no,
and you very rarely had the flu.
I've probably had it my whole life. A few times, I imagine.
Okay. And
There's
you're
been a
still here and you're still here today, lively as hell, working out twice a day, doing all these crazy things with your body.
right, but that's my life and that's a choice, and I would do this for nothing because I like it. But a lot of people, it's just not their agenda. They just don't care. They don't care
Correct.
about. They don't take they're so busy just keeping their heads above water or whatever it takes. They don't even think about this stuff.
I think it's laziness.
Well, that's part of it.
Laziness, taking the easy way, you know, eating the factory foods that lowers your immune system, therefore makes you more susceptible to any virus that's out there that you come in contact with, and
Absolutely.
therefore is going to make it harder for you to bounce back and overcome and like get better because you're already compromised because you haven't taken care of yourself. Like
100%.
so I I have zero and I probably let me say this the right way. I don't understand when we everybody has a computer in their pocket with so many resources available to them and knowing the right way to live to increase their vitality and lower their chances of being sick. They know this. They can just Google that. They can Google it in this thing.
It's
But
not
yet
on
they
their
don't.
it's not on
They
their
choose,
agenda. It's not
pardon?
on their agenda. They're thinking about other stuff. Otherwise, everybody'd be healthy.
Yeah,
It's
but if
just
you don't have your health, you have nothing. You can think about all the other stuff you want, but
when
if
you're
you don't
young,
have your health, then
when you're
what
young,
what
you don't think when you're young, you don't think that way. Like, you
well,
go
I'm
back to
not that young anymore. I'm 48. So
you
I'm
don't
still
count.
think that
I thought
way.
you were 28. We don't count the 20 years you lived in Florida.
What happened?
We don't, I thought you're 28. We don't count the 20 years you lived in
Oh,
Florida.
do I look 28? I'll take it. I'll take looking 28. Thank you very much. I've
Yeah,
been
but
told I don't
if it's
age.
not, if that was the case, everybody would be thinking like we are. There'd be a gym on every corner instead of a convenience store. It's just not where it's at.
But that's why we're having this conversation. That's why you are a resident vitality expert to
Right.
be the example of vitality and longevity and explaining to people what it takes to live a healthy, vital life. Because nobody wants to live long and suffer and be miserable and fight disease. We want to live long and be active and be vital. So there are choices that we make early on, or even if not early on, you've been dealt a bad deck of cards. You grew up with a mother that just fed you to appease you because you cried and she didn't know what else to do, so you
Well, we're
got
breaking up
obese.
again.
What? What happened?
You know, we broke up a little bit again.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll fix that. So there, I believe that we can change at any point. We have got to want the desire to live a different way than
I
what
think a
the
lot of it has to
status
do with
quo.
how, how you were raised. What happens when your parents don't think that way? It's passed on.
Right?
Now, how do you change that? When your family just has got the second generation of bad habits. Let's use that word. Pretty hard word. It's not meaningful.
Yeah.
No, not everybody thinks that.
No, I know that. I know
I
that.
happen to like the
I was blessed. I was blessed the way I was raised. My
well,
grandparents took vitamins. They worked out. My grandfather was riding 30 miles a day on his bike until his into almost 80s, and then he had a stroke. But like I was raised with that. But I had girlfriends and friends that would like just give their
well,
kids crap.
that's more of the norm. How are you going to change that? That would have to be a Herculean effort actually from the government because it's
There
not going
you
to come.
go.
That would have to come from the government and not private enterprise. You got to
Well,
unwind this private enterprise. Like I said, they would have to reformulate everything, which is not that big of a deal. You don't have to recall anything. You just let it run through and campaign differently.
yeah. Yeah, I like that. Well, we're getting
You
here close
know,
on time. Let's start
just
wrapping things
they'd
up.
have to part of the government and part of private enterprise.
I'm sorry, say that again.
It'd have to be private enterprise and government together.
Hmm. Well, I don't know if we're going to see that happen. You think we'll see
Uh,
that?
the government subsidizes. It wouldn't hurt to not that these companies need the subsidization. It really wouldn't hurt to get them to make that changeover.
Hmm.
Let's say they had to spend $10 million. Ain't the end of the world. Let the government subsidize them.
That's a whole other conversation.
Smaller companies, if they're smaller ones, are the ones that don't have the money. So let me just give you a superior source real quick.
Okay, yes.
We either make the microlingual, very small tablets that dissolve under your tongue or in your mouth, very clean. No added binders, fillers, chemical fillers like they use. When you do read a vitamin label, look at the other ingredients
Yes.
because sometimes the inactives, which are chemicals, are more than the actives, especially in hard tablets.
Yeah.
And we don't do that.
No. And the tablets stay away from. I love his supplements, you guys. So if you're interested in trying out any of his products, you can go to onto Amazon. It is available in Walmart and some of your surrounding grocery stores or superstores, whatever you want to call them. Superior Source. You just Google search Superior Source and see where it pops up near you. The collagen is really great. The creatine is awesome. I love the creatine. He's got some other great products there, especially if you're trying to protect your immune system and live a more healthier lifestyle. There are a lot of products there for you to utilize, and he developed a clean products across the board. So highly recommend Superior Source. Ron, any last words you want to leave with us today before we say goodbye?
Well, I wish you a happy Merry Christmas and not a happy Hanukkah coming up.
Oh, all the things.
All,
Holidays.
all
Happy
the good,
holidays.
that's my girl. All the good things.
All the good
And let's
things.
look forward to 2025 as be a healthy and successful year.
Amen to that. You guys, this is your host, Deanna and Ron with Label Free. To live your best life, you must live label free. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, rate, review, comment, share, all those good things. And I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.